Knowing a few simple things about how to care for your pet goes a long way towards enjoying the time you have together. This section of my video will give you a few ideas on how we care for our pets here at my home. It's my opinion that no pet owner should have a house dog without having a dog crate. I have lived with dogs for over 40 years, and I would never consider having a dog in my home, no matter how well trained it was, without having a dog crate. Crates are used for house training, for having a place to put the dog when we're busy, for solving behavioral problems, and they're used to introduce new dogs and new people into our home. Many people who acquire a house-trained dog from a rescue organization find out that when they take them home, the dog has problems with house training. This can even happen when you move from one home to a new home and take your dog with you. The solution to these problems always begins with a dog crate. I've addressed these issues in the articles and the Q&A sections on house training on my website. Adding a second dog to a home oftentimes becomes a complicated problem. Pack drive and rank issues come into play. Bringing the new dog home and just letting the new dog and the old dog sort out the relationship is not the way to do it. New dogs should always be introduced with a dog crate. The new dog is put in the crate while the old dog is loose in the house. When the new dog is loose, the old dog is in the crate. There is no rush here, and with time, the old dog will learn that this new addition is indeed part of the family pack. There's more to introducing a dog into the house than this, and I've written an article on it. You can go to my website and read the additional details that go along with it. We don't have time here in this video. I'm often asked what we feed our dogs here at Leerburg. I tell people that what they feed their dog is probably the most important health decision they will make in the life of their dog. Here at Leerburg, we feed an all-natural diet. That means human-grade meat and supplements. You can read about this on my website. I would like to also point out that most vets have very little training in nutrition. You would not think that this was the case, but look at the number of hours dedicated to nutrition in veterinarian schools. I have heard that some schools only require 4 hours of nutrition training on dogs. For that reason, your vet's recommendation on feeding may not be the best choice. In fact, I think more often than not, their recommendations are based on commercial decisions and not nutrition. When you see a vet selling Science Diet and Eukanuba, you know that that's the case. I'd also like to point out that there are dog food companies that make kibble dog food out of human-grade ingredients. I have a list of these on my website. Something else I would like to recommend to everyone who watches this video concerns vaccinating your dogs. I am a strong proponent of not getting yearly vaccinations on your dogs. Read the articles I have written on vaccinosis, or the book that we sell titled What Vets Don't Tell You About Vaccinations. People don't have a choice on vaccinating their pets for rabies, but they do have a choice for all the other vaccinations. What I recommend is 2 puppy shots when dogs are young, and then never anything else after that other than rabies. Over-vaccinating your dog will cause allergies, cancer, arthritis, and God knows what other ailments. Before you make a decision to do your yearly vaccinations, do your research. See for yourself if you agree with us here at Leerburg. I have questions quite often from people about what to do on diarrhea. There are 2 kinds of diarrhea, pudding and water. Pudding is not that serious. There's a lot of reasons that could cause this. I normally cut a dog's food back by half and watch them to see if the stools firm up. Water diarrhea is more serious. What I tell people is to make sure that their dogs have plenty of clean, fresh water all the time. Take them off of their food for 24 hours when they get brown water diarrhea. When you start to feed again, see if they will eat a half a can of pumpkin, not pumpkin pie mix, but pumpkin. You can mix a little raw meat in with it. If a dog has had a bad bout of diarrhea, for a day or two you may want to consider feeding rice and cooked hamburger. Drain the grease off the hamburger. I've also been known to give a dog a human Imodium AD. One point here is that if your dog has blood in the diarrhea, I recommend taking them to the vet as soon as you can. I would like to take a second here and talk about neutering your dog. I recommend that all pets be neutered. I am always getting emails from people who have aggression problems with adult males. They want to know if neutering will solve the problem. The answer is no, it won't. For neutering to affect aggression in a dog, it needs to be done when the dog is 6 to 8 months old. Neutering a 3-year-old adult male is not going to affect his temperament that much. The reason to neuter a pet is that when these dogs get older, they have far less chances of having prostate cancer. I will even neuter my retired stud dogs for that very important reason. So my advice is to neuter. I'm not a huge fan of in-ground fencers, like Invisible Fence. The reason is they don't keep other dogs out of your yard. With that said, these in-ground fencers have a place. If a person has a fenced yard, but their dog climbs out, adding one of these in-ground fencers to your yard works very well. You simply attach the wire for the in-ground fencer to the top of the existing fence. The dog gets shocked when it gets near the fence, and they don't climb out. How you doing, baby? How you doing? One of the things I wanted to show you in this video is what can be done with a dog kennel next to your garage or next to your house. People take and put dog kennels up, and they just take chain link panels and they put them up and they put their dogs out in them, and they say they're ugly. And they are ugly, but they don't need to look at like that. Here we have a chain link dog run. It's 6 feet long by, I have a 10-foot and a 6-foot panel. I have poured concrete. We have a hole cut in the end of our garage. So the dog's doghouse is actually inside the garage, where I keep at least a foot of straw in there in the wintertime. For the flaps going into the house, I went to our local farm and fleet store and I bought tractor belts that are about 6 inches wide, and I cut them to fit over the door, and then I put a piece of metal on the side of the building and screwed it on. What that does is it's a windbreak in the wintertime, and we have cold winters here. We have 30-mile-an-hour winds and 30 below zero and a lot of snow. The reason I use those tractor belts is because the dogs can't chew them up. If you put a flap over the door, they're going to chew them up. What we did was just build a frame over the top of the dog kennel, like you would see in a gazebo in somebody's backyard, and I bought vines, and it took about 2 years, 3 years for these vines to grow. We fertilize them every year, and we planted dogwoods on the outside of it, and it's a perfect place. There's shade. The vines and the dogwoods help to break the sound for when the dogs bark, and it looks good. So there really is no reason for you to say, well, I don't like to put a dog kennel in my backyard because I have a nice backyard and I don't like the look of a dog kennel. The dog kennel doesn't have to show. And the bottom line is, if you're going to have a pet, you need to be able to take care of it. That means if it's in your house, it needs to have access to a dog crate so you can put it away when you don't want to be bothered with it, or it needs to be in a fenced yard, or it needs to have a dog kennel in the backyard. And really the best is to have a dog kennel inside of a fenced yard. So with that said, we're going to let Dama come out, but she never comes out of the dog kennel. When she jumps up, when I go to reach for the handle. No. Very good. No. Very good. Good. No. Yes. Yes. Dama, good girl. Good girl. Good girl. It's important to teach your dog how to go in and out of the dog kennel. And what I'll do, whether it's a dog kennel or a dog crate, is use food to get him to go in. Kennel. She didn't see me toss it. Come here, baby. Here. Kennel. Good girl. Very good. If you ever plan on traveling with your dog, you need to consider a couple of things about how that dog is going to ride in your vehicle. Dogs should not ride loose in a car. It's a recipe for disaster to allow a dog to ride in a car loose. Here's what our vehicles look like. What you choose to do is your personal decision. We sell very nice custom-made aluminum dog crates. They are not cheap, but they will last you your entire life. Some dogs don't like to ride in a car. They get car sick, they salivate. These dogs should be put in a dog crate in the vehicle when the car's not going. I have them spend a lot of time in there. We put the dog in the crate. We let him spend hours just sitting there. We will feed him in the crate. We will even make him sleep overnight in the crate. Of course, we live in an area where we can leave the vehicles open and there's no security issues. Then, when it comes time to travel, we do so with short trips, just around the block, the windows open so the dog can get a lot of air. Feeding a dog ginger or ginger snap cookies will oftentimes eliminate or at least help car sickness. You may also want to try that. Some dogs can be a little stubborn about going into the car. When they see a car door open, they want to charge in. The door of your vehicle is no different than the door to your house, to your kennel, to the gate of your backyard. The dog must sit before he gets into the car. If your dog is one of these, then the easiest way to control him is to have a second handler hold a long line that's attached to the prong collar on the dog. If the dog bolts for the car, the second handler gives a correction. The dog is not allowed to enter the car until he can demonstrate self-control. Back and praise him. Walk up and open it. Let him go in.
Okay. Good boy.
Yeah. Let him go.
Should I make him sit? Okay.
Praise him.
Good boy.
I'll do it with a drag line. Go up, hook the leash on him, unhook the long line.
And then just
Do it again. If he stays there for a count of 3, let him go in.
sit. Okay.
A lot of praise.
Good boy. Super. What a boy. Good boy, bud. Good boy.
I am sure that everyone knows people who own more than one dog and never have problems. With that said, I can tell you that for every home that does not have a problem with 2 dogs, there are 5 homes that do have multiple dogs with problems. Many of these problems are caused by how the owners handle and treat their dogs. I've written extensively on my website about this issue. Here are just a few of the ideas that will simplify owning 2 dogs. Males fight with males. Females fight with females. So if you're thinking about adding a second dog, add one of the opposite sex to the one you already have. Follow the rules of how to introduce a new dog into a home with existing dogs. I've written an article on my website about it. Feed the dogs in dog crates, not in open rooms where the dominant dog can bounce from one food bowl to the other. Be very careful about your toys. Never leave them out for the dogs to play with when you're not there. Toys, food, and the owner's attention are triggers for dog fights. So when toys are involved, make sure you have 100% control of the situation. If your dog is not fully trained, don't try playing with a toy when two dogs are out at the same time. One of the biggest mistakes owners make when they have two dogs is how they greet and pet their dogs. Remember, you're dealing with pack animals that have already established a rank or pecking order. So pet and greet the highest ranking dog first. Push the lower ranking dogs away while you show the higher ranking dogs some attention. Then greet the second place dog and push the higher ranking dog away from you while you're petting number 2. This is how it looks when it's done correct.
Okay, her turn. Lay down. Okay, lay down. Anna. That's good. Okay, go away. No. Go away. They understand it too when you do it. Oh, that one. Yeah, oh, that one.
In this section of the video, we're going to talk about toys. If you've been to one of the pet warehouses lately, you know that there are aisles and aisles of toys. And in my opinion, the vast majority of them should never be used in a pet home or a working home. In the 22 or 23 years that I've been producing dog training videos, I've never sold one commercial advertising spot on any of my videotapes. The products that we recommend are products that we use in our kennel, we use with our dogs, and that we recommend to our customers. There's a difference in toys. A lot of toys in these pet stores are dangerous toys. Toys that you don't want to leave with your dog. I would never buy these small little squeaky toys and leave them with your dog. It's one thing to have a puppy and you have a soft little squeaky thing and it's so cute for that puppy to carry it around. But to give that dog or that toy to an adult dog that can end up chewing the entire soft, squeaky rubber toy up and eating it, I will guarantee you that if you leave those kinds of toys with an adult dog, they'll eat them, and it will cause a bowel obstruction, and the going cost for surgery, if you catch it quick enough and the dog doesn't die, is about $2,000. So give some thought to what kind of toys you deal with your dog. There are two different categories of toys here. We have these Jolly Balls, and this is a toy that can be left with an adult dog. The dogs like it. It's a ball within a ball. It's a really cool little toy. I won't say it's totally indestructible, but I can leave this with 99% of my adult German Shepherds, and they don't destroy it. They come in different sizes. It'll keep your dog busy for hours. This Jolly Ball, this tug and toss, is also a great toy for a dog. It's soft, and the dogs can either grab this or they can grab the rope. You can play get away or toss the ball away, and it's a great game for exercise for you and your dog. These toys, this rubber ball that we sell is also a great toy. This is not a toy to be left with a dog. If you're going to use toys like this and you have a very strong prey drive dog, you must already have taught it the out or the leave it command. But the way this works is shoot it off into the distance. It's a great toy for exercise for your dog. There's an accessory that comes with it if you want, that you can really shoot this thing a long way. In a minute, Cindy's going to come and demonstrate these with the dogs. Another toy I like is this Chuck It. The reason I like it is if you've got a dog, it'll bring it back, spit it out when you want. You don't have to bend over it. And you can really put some distance on this ball with one of these Chuck Its. If you have a dog that likes to swim, taking this to the lake, teach it on land first, because you can toss this ball a long, long way, a lot further than you can usually throw it. A lot of different kinds of hunting dummies. I like these dummies. They're soft. The dog can actually grab it and squeeze it. And the dummies that we sell have a little opening right here, like a valve in a basketball. And they all come with a stem, so you can put more air into it if you want a harder dummy. Tie a rope on this, and it's a great dummy to use at the lake for exercise with our dogs. We take our dogs to the lake a lot. The best exercise that you can do with your dog is to let them swim. Swimming is way better than running. Swimming is way better than jogging. It's not hard on their joints. It's something that young dogs can do that are 6 months to a year old that you would never take. I would never recommend a 6-month to a 12-month-old dog going running for long distances, but they can swim. It's not hard on their joints. These are excellent to go with them. This flying squirrel drives dogs that have prey drive nuts because it floats in the air, and the beautiful part about it is that when it lands and sits on the ground, it's curved upwards, so the dog can be running 1,000,000 miles an hour, and he learns he can get his jaw right underneath of it and pick it up. Cindy will demonstrate this in a second too. We sell balls on a string. We use this a lot. We use balls on a string in training competition dogs. We use balls on a string when we are training dogs to go into drive and to focus. Now, that's not an exercise for pet people to get involved with. If you have an interest to take your training to the next level, I would recommend the video that I produced, Building Drive and Focus in Your Dog. It's video 101E, and I put the web address on the screen as you watch this now. This HyperDog toy is a new toy that we're just adding, and it's kind of a slick toy because it holds your tennis balls right in the toy, and you can really send this thing off at a distance. But again, it's something that when you first start to use it, you might want to shoot it at the ground so the dog figures out that the ball is going to come out of the slingshot. One of the things that I'd like to talk about before Cindy comes on here with Brooklyn is that when we play games with our dogs, we use these games to not only exercise the dog, but also to proof the dog when we get it to the level that we can introduce proofing to the sit command and to the stay command. We can put a long line on the dog, stand on the long line, toss a ball away. That's a distraction for the dog. And the dog's not allowed to go and get it until you tell him, okay, go get it, or whatever command you care to use. We'll demonstrate that here with Brooklyn. While I'm talking about toys, I think I need to kind of give you our philosophy on how we look at toys with our dogs and how we handle the toys with our dogs. The way I see it is, all the toys are my toys that I let my dog play with. I don't leave toys in my house for my dog to play with when I'm gone. If I'm going to leave anything with the dog, it might be a Kong that I put cream cheese in and put it in the crate, a hard rubber Kong. You can leave these hard rubber balls like we have that we sell and put peanut butter in them or put cream cheese in them, something that the dog can never ever chew up. But I don't leave a basket full of toys in the living room for the dog to go over and pick up what it wants to pick up. It makes the toys more valuable to the dog if the only time they play with them is when you take them out and go playing with them. It also reduces the chance of a dog destroying a toy, or worse yet, chewing a toy up, eating it, and again, having a bowel obstruction. This is Brooklyn. She's in toy heaven as far as she's concerned. Cindy's going to demonstrate some of these toys, but she'll also demonstrate, no. She'll also demonstrate the fact that how we use the toys as a distraction for the down command. I'm going to put Brooklyn on a long line, and I'll hold the end of the long line. When Cindy tosses it, I'll reinforce the fact that she has to stay in one spot and cannot get up and go until Cindy says it's okay. The first time we do it, we're not going to make her stay very long.
Good girl.
What would you like to use? Okay. This. And this.
Yes.
Now, let me get this straight so I can give her a sharp little. You put her down, I'm going to pop her, and then you shoot it just before you pop her. And then shoot it that way, Cindy. I can already tell you're shooting it the wrong way. Yeah. That's good. Wait until I can give her a little pop. Quicker this time. And can you shoot it a little further?
Sit. Yes. Good girl, Brooke.
Now, as far as you can shoot it.
Yay, Brooke. House.
I'm going to not try and give her any pop this time.
Sit. Yes.
Good.
Girl.
Good girl. Now, let's try the chuck it.
House.
They really love that. Brooke. Okay. Okay. That's okay.
Come on, Brooke. Atta girl. Come on. Brooke, what's this? Brooke. Brooklyn. Brooke. Come on, Brooke.
Let's take that line off her now.
If you have a dominant dog that tries to bite your hand, when you go to pick the ball up after he spits it out, the chuck it is a safe way to retrieve the ball. It doesn't solve the problem, but it does allow you to get the ball back without having your hand get bit.
Good, good. Let's take this. It's fun. Hey, Brooke. Hey, Brooke. Ouse. This is how you can start your two-ball work.
Yay, Brooke!
Good girl, Brooke. Good girl, Brooke. Here you go. Ouse. You can really throw that baby down there. I think that might just be the end of it for Brooke for the day. Good girl, Brooke. Very good. Good girl. Good girl. Good. Okay.
One thing I do need to mention is that if you're raising a pet, it's not a good idea to play tug-of-war games like this with your dog. Tug-of-war games with people that don't know what they're doing can bring out dominance issues with the dogs when the dogs don't want to give up the item that they've been playing tug for. So if you have any question at all, the way to approach it is don't play tug with a pet. The next section of our training deals with children and dogs. I have two excellent articles on my website, one titled Introducing Your Dog to Babies, and the second titled Preventing Dog Bites in Children. If you own a dog that's going to be around children, I strongly recommend that you take the time to study the material in these articles. The fact is, I could do an entire training video on dogs and kids. We could only skim the surface of that material in this DVD. But with that said, there's some very important things that people need to consider if they're going to have their dog around children. We sell a book titled Fatal Dog Attacks. If you want an interesting read, get this book. It's a synopsis of irresponsible pet owners. The attacks that are outlined in this book should never have happened. You need to ask yourself some very important questions. If the answers to any of these questions are yes, you should be very careful about allowing that dog to be near children. Has the dog ever been aggressive to strangers? Has the dog ever been aggressive to strange children of any age? Has the dog ever been aggressive to small animals? If the answers to these questions are yes, this does not automatically mean the dog can never be around kids, but it does mean dog is never left unsupervised with a baby. The dog is never allowed in the baby's bedroom, not even when the owner is present. This helps establish a certain level of rank with the owner and the child and the dog. Dogs in homes with kids and babies should have dog crates and be crate trained. In my opinion, dogs should never be allowed to lick a baby's face. For those dogs whose owners don't feel comfortable allowing the dogs to be around kids and babies, there are always dog crates and outside dog kennels. I have owned dogs, many dogs, over the years that I did not feel comfortable allowing them around kids and babies. I simply controlled the environment that these dogs lived in. I made sure that the two never came in contact. This is simply called being a responsible pet owner. I get a lot of emails from people asking if both a husband and a wife or a parent and a child can train the dog at the same time. The answer is that one person should be the trainer of the dog, and once the dog is trained, a second or a third person can then learn how to handle the dog. And by handling, I mean that that person can learn how to give commands, how to praise the dog, and how to enforce the commands. When it comes to kids and dogs, there are some considerations that need to be kept in mind. The first is that a child should have some degree of maturity. This usually means around 10 years of age. They have to be old enough to be able to learn how to be consistent in their work. They need to learn how to praise and, if need be, how to give an appropriate correction. When the dog is handled by a child, it should be in the presence of an adult, especially the adult that has done the training on that particular dog. The dog should also not be larger than the child. The training needs to take place in a secure environment. In other words, a fenced backyard or a fenced tennis court. It should not be in the park where strange dogs are running loose, or it should not take place in an area where there are a lot of other distractions. The dog's temperament should be stable enough that it will accept a child. In other words, there should not be any issues of dominance between the dog and the child. We need to remember and keep in mind with children and dogs is they need to be able to act exactly like an adult. They need to have consistency, they need to learn how to praise, and they need to learn and understand corrections. This is where the maturity issue comes into play. Here we see Carmen working with her dog Bodie, teaching Andrew how to handle Bodie. Andrew is learning how to give a correction. Bodie is actually learning that not only does he have to mind Carmen, he also has to mind Andrew. So it's a two-way street here. It's a give and take between the dog and the child and the child and the dog. But in the end, the dog must learn that it will mind the child, and if that can't happen, then the dog should not be handled by the child. And I can't emphasize enough that you need to be 100% sure that you're not dealing with a dominant dog. It's not worth having an inappropriate correction result in a dog bite on a child. If you ever have a question about your dog's safety around children, I would advise using a muzzle. We sell some excellent muzzles here at Leerburg. It's always better to be safe than sorry, and these are not very expensive products. I would like to take a minute here to talk about small dogs. I'm often asked if I have a video that shows how to train Pomeranians or toy poodles or whatever, small dogs. My answer is always the same. Dog training is not breed or size specific. It's temperament and drive specific. Little dogs have the same pack instinct, the same pack drive, the same issues that large dogs have. In fact, little dogs often exhibit more dominance problems than larger breed dogs because their owners allow them to get by with too many things, jumping up, sitting on their laps, sleeping in their beds, all of which results in a dog becoming more dominant than they should be. I have trained protection dogs since 1974, and the worst dog bite I ever got was a leg bite from my mom's dominant toy poodle. Read the article I wrote titled Dealing with the Dominant Dog. The fact is, you don't train a small dog any differently than you do a German Shepherd. The only difference is you're going to do a lot more bending over, and the size of your food rewards needs to be consistent with the size of the dog. So little dogs, like you see here, need to have very little food rewards. You may have heard people say that you should put your toy breed up on a table to train it, to save on your back. I don't agree with this advice. It's far too easy for a dog like this to bail off a table and break a leg when the owner's not paying attention. Cindy, my partner, used to work for a veterinarian and has seen this on numerous occasions. If you like your dog, it's just not worth the risk. So, with all this said, small dogs can have food drive or prey drive or none of the above. It's your job to figure out what motivates your little dog, and then train it just like everyone else trains their dogs. We sell small, lightweight leather leashes and collars. In our kennel, we use them with our puppies, but they work just as well on small dogs like you see here.
So good. Yes, you are so good. Yes, you are. Oh, you're so good. Yes, Goliath. Yeah, no, you stay in there. One of the biggest problems people have with their dogs, especially untrained older dogs, is problems at the door and problems at the gate. I want my dogs to sit down before I let them go outside. I want them to sit down before I bring them in the house, and sit down before I let them out of the gate. This is an example of how hard it can be with Goliath. This is a simple problem to correct. It doesn't involve anything more than teaching the dog that he's not allowed to come charging through the gate. Yeah. If the dog tries to come through, I'll close. Goliath, come to me. If the dog tries to bolt through the gate, I'll close the gate on his head. I don't slam it. I don't do anything other than hold his head in place with the gate by simply restraining the dog, not allowing him to pull his head back out like that. Yeah, that's fine. Not allowing him to pull his head back out and not allowing him to charge through. They learn that they're not allowed to charge through a gate. And what I do is sit, Goliath, sit, sit, Goliath, sit. Very good, sit. We're not training competition dogs. He chooses to lay down with me, that's fine. Basically, all I want him to do is not charge through this gate. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Now, when I have to handle a dog, and the dog is a little bit wild, there's a difference in leashes, and your job is a lot easier if you use, in this situation, a martingale lead. A martingale lead is a lead that looks like this. Put it over the dog's head, and you got him. It's a lot easier to do that than it is to try and grab a dog that's all crazy and wild and find the snap on the dog where it's going all crazy and you're trying to clip it on and it's a big fight and a big argument to put that on it. A martingale lead works a lot better for that. Goliath, come here. Come to me. Sit. No, sit. Well, if he wants to jump up, let me show you. Come here, Goliath. Come on. I'll put this on him here so that he's on the lead. I'll open this. I don't let him charge through. I never, ever let him charge through. Sit. Sit. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah. Yeah, sit. Yeah, that's fine. I go through the gate first. The dog does not charge through the gate. Not ever. Dogs are pack animals. If I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. Dogs are pack animals. The leader goes through the door first. The leader goes down the steps first. The leader comes out of the house first. Yeah, that's fine. Good. Very good. Very good, Goliath. Okay, come on. Come with me. Come with me. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. Sit. Sit. Good boy. Good boy. No. No. Sit. That's fine. Notice that when the dog makes a mistake, I tell him no. It doesn't need to be no. It just means no, don't do that. No, you made a mistake. It's not no. You're not a drill sergeant here. The dog understands the word no. He'll learn to understand the word no. Very good. No. Sit. He didn't get a release. No. Sit. Yeah, that's fine. That's so good. That's so good. No. Good boy, good boy. Okay. Hey, Spy, how are you? Hello, hello. One of the things we're going to do right now is teach Spy that she cannot bolt through the gate. This is no different than going through the, bolting out the door of your house. Nothing is more irritating than that. Hey, Spy. Hey, Spy. Yeah, that's fine. Stay. Stay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no. Yeah, that's fine. No. Yeah. Yeah, Spy, no. Yeah, no. What I do is just hold her head in there. I just close the gate on their head. I don't slam it. I don't put any pressure on it. I just don't let them put it through. Come here, Spy. Stay. Stay. And that teaches them that they don't bolt out the gate. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. And the bottom line is that if a dog does try and bolt out the gate and I'm going in, I'll have a hold of the door and I'll put it back on their face. And if it means giving them a little knock on the end of their nose when they bolt out, well, there's an old saying that one good correction is worth 1,000 nagging corrections. So if a dog tries to bolt out, I'll whack them on the front of their nose with the door or with the gate. And I will guarantee you that if you do it hard enough, once or twice or 3 times, that dog will not charge out the gate. If this were your house and the dog were inside, open it slowly, and if you have a problem where the dog is so quick that he bolts by you, then have a drag line on him. Clip this on, and if the dog is so quick that it's boom and he's by, you can always step on that leash, grab him, put him back in. In which case, after that, then you hold it open just a little bit, just barely for the nose to come through, and say, no, no. A lot of times, if a dog bolts out, there's too big of a danger for that dog to run in the street, get hit by a car and killed, run next door and jump up on a kid, run next door and attack another dog, or run next door and get attacked by another dog. So you're better off to get control of your dog right off the bat at the door, because 90% of the problems in the home deal with dogs that are really a pain to handle at the door, or chew in the house, or jump on furniture and jump on people in the house. So, Spy, come here, baby. Come on. Come on. Yeah, that's fine. Come here. Yeah. How are you? How are you? You're so good. You're so good. Yeah. Yeah, fine. Fine. Yeah, I didn't tell you you could go outside. Yeah, I didn't tell you you could go outside. I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, you're so good. You're so good. You saw what happened there. It happened very quickly. It was the end of it. That wasn't really a correction. She just learned, hey, I can't go through there. I'm going to get my head smacked. Hey, Spy, come to me. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, you're so good. Yes, you are. Uh-huh. Yes. I don't think you should try it. Give it your best shot. No. No. Yeah. No. I don't think so. I don't think so. Yes. This is the way that a dog should act at a gate. A dog that's charging, jumping, being an idiot at a gate just makes your life harder and more miserable. And she learned this in the matter of a couple of days. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You're good. You're very good. You're good. You know you can't come out till I say you can stay. Yeah, good girl. Yeah, that's fine, Spy. That's fine, Spy. Sit. Yeah. There. There, I tried to get her to break the command by playing with the leash. I don't want the leash to be a trigger for her to think, okay, now I can bolt out the gate. So you can go in. Spy, come here. Yeah. Yeah. Spy, a lot of times just the sound of a clip is enough for the dog to think, okay, now I'm on leash, I don't have to be, now I'm on leash, I don't have to mind because I heard the click. There. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. Give it your best shot, Spy. What do you think, huh? That's a girl. That's a girl. You're so nice. Yes, you are. Okay. Okay, Spy. That's fine. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Stay. Okay. Hi, Zebby. Hi, Zebby. Can't come through. Can't come through. No. Yeah. Now, I'm not putting any pressure on this at all. He's just not putting his head through there. Good. Yeah. Yeah. You think you're going to charge through that again? One time on it. Yeah. He may have to get it again, but I'll be surprised. There. There. I think that's a perfect example of a dog that gets one good correction rather than 1,000 nagging corrections. And that's the first step that I use in teaching a dog not to bolt out the door. Once the dog understands that that can happen, the next thing is getting a little tap on the nose with the gate or the door. Yeah, Zeb. Yeah, Zeb. Yeah, Zeb. They're quick enough so that they can back up